here now, man. Teamless Tuesday. It's exciting. It's always good to have a teamless, and especially this one here. We've got a few changes, which is great.
Yeah.
Calling on depth. It's that time of year again where we do have to call on our depth. But it is what it is. Now let's go and just quickly look at it. Obviously, Chance, and he's playing at an extreme level, isn't he, old Chansey boy?
He is.
Ed Cossey's come in for Dylan, which we'll discuss that probably first off the bat. Pompey's there. Rocco's back as well. That's another one we can talk about. And Roger. Everyone concerned about Luke Metcalfe. He is healthy, guys. He's healthy enough to play. I suppose that they've figured that out, that he's there. And Chanel. Then you got Fish, Wade Egan, and Marata. So Marata doesn't seem like it was an HIA. Maybe you're saying it was a broken nose. Maybe they put it back in place. Give him the old mask, maybe the old Phantom of the Opera. Or LeBron. Who was it? I think all the people that wore. So LeBron wore one. Kyrie, Neymar, I think, had a mask as well. I can't remember. But there's a few of those people. Yeah.
I'm sure Marata's done this before too, hasn't he?
Has he?
I'm sure he has for us. I can't remember. Yeah, I'm sure he has.
The cream of Dulce. We need to get the glasses on or whatever.
Go WWE, bro. Get a Kane mask or something out there. Make him real scary. You know what I mean?
Get a Kane mask on. Hey, fantastic. Kate Wire's back far. Just on a side note, now that I look back on it, man, we really miss Kate Wire. He's been so good.
Yeah.
But he's starting, and Laban's there, and Clark. Now the bench is Tamairi, Jackson Ford, Dimitri, and Lecker. Now their bench is looking a bit more X Factor, a bit more punch. On hopefully a dry check at Suncorp can be absolutely fantastic. But what do you make of this team? We'll maybe start with the back line of Cossey and Berry. How do you think they go? Is it the right for actually Cossey when the argument could be we're going to go for and actually a Tane who's proven himself to be well? Why not Tane or why Cossey? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the selection in general. I think that Gossi this year has shown that he stepped up his game just a tad, right? I know Warriors fans always get a little bit stressed when they see that name on the team list, but people have got to remember that game against the Cowboys. He was actually a really good contributor in that game. I'm pretty sure no errors in that game from memory, and actually was carrying a collarbone or a shoulder injury that he played through. So got a ton of heart. Since coming back from that injury in Cup, he's been in top form over the weekend. He was incredible again as well, scoring a double. So I think that he played himself into form in that sort of sense. And with Tane overall, this is my sentiment in general. This is what I think that's happening. And also I kind of agree with this as well is, Edward Gossie's out winger. He comes up, steps up, and he's going to play in the wing. We've seen Tane be able to play in the wing. He does a great job out there. Shout out to Tane. But Tane is a fullback, and I want him doing reps in fullback, right? Especially for our system. If there's any injuries that come from this game, we want Tane doing reps at fullback in New South Wales Cup level. So when he steps up, he's having reps in that fullback position. That's in my opinion. I know a lot of people will probably argue it shouldn't be too much of a difference from wing to fullback, but there is, especially when you're sorting out defensive line, calling out numbers. Tane can do that for sure, but it's always good to have reps in these positions as well. He's also named in the extended, so it may be a late change, but I probably would say that we're going to keep Gossi there as well. And lastly, on the thought, he's only just coming back from that HIA from that high shot too, so it may even be up in the air whether he's even going to play New South Wales Cup. He might get rested for another week, even though he's fit and ready to go. Head injuries sometimes can be a little bit of a tough one there too. So I agree with all these changes here. I like them. I think we're a stronger side by looking at it. Rocco Berry is a big one as well. I love seeing him back there. Hopefully he's fit and ready to go. I think that's the only nudge on Rocco at the moment is he can pick up an injury. Hopefully he's fit and raring to go because we do need someone that's going to stay in that right side centre spot for a long period of time to build a combination.
Yeah, I think Rocco, we more than need him right now.
Yeah.
And you're thinking of a Kate Well that's going again to an Origin decider. And actually, I forgot to congratulate you, Sean. Congratulations, mate. Congratulations on Queensland winning, mate. It's fair play.
Oh!
You guys didn't win.
It is what it is, bro. That's what happens when you compete. But it's going to be an uphill battle going to, just quickly touch on Origin. It's going to be an uphill battle going into this last game 3. But guys, if you want to see my thoughts on that too, check it out on my channel tomorrow night. But I'm very happy, but I also still think there's a lot of the symptoms that we still kind of are dealing
Of
with
course.
are still there as well. So I'm not getting blinded by that, but I'm a happy chappy, mate. The Maroons
Enjoy it. Yeah.
did it when the Blues fans got all the most confident in the world, as Blues fans
Yeah,
always do.
it always happens.
But it should be good. Should be
I mean,
good game 3.
yeah, 8-0 penalty count, that happens.
Oh,
No,
I
I won't
hate
go
that
that far.
argument, bro. I hate it. There is 6 against, boys.
Uh,
If this was old school, the 6 against would count to a
yeah.
penalty count.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Nah. Don't you
I'm just
love
winding up,
Origin?
but enjoy it. Yeah, just enjoy it, man. That's fantastic. I get, yeah. I mean, I've been a big fan of Koss a bit, and I do agree with this sentiment that
Mm,
like for like, he's great. I just love Tane's intangibles, but he is a fullback.
mm,
I just love having Tane on the field for some reason. For me, he just reminds me of just a footy player, just something he can create something. He's always there for something to happen. But I get the idea with Kossi
Do you know the
and Berry.
one
Sorry,
thing about? Sorry, do you know the one thing about Tane that, like, and this could kind of come off a little bit, hey, going, bro, but if Tane got put back into that winger role, I was just going to call out to everyone and be like, guys, watch how Tane defends. It's exactly the same as how Dallin defends. It's exactly the same how all our wingers defend. So people can stop putting that whole comments that Dallin doesn't know how to defend. Like, I think that's just a sentiment that Warriors fans are just running with at the moment without understanding. Gossie's going to do exactly the same thing this weekend as well. So it's not going to matter between the name, but everyone still thinks that, Tane, in that same sort of vein, he's not really that, but he would have done exactly the same thing defensively on that edge as well. So that's just my little thing there. But I think that, I love having Tane as a fullback and training at fullback.
Rocco for me. My expectation around him is a little bit lower. I just want him to get through healthy. I just want him to kind of sit in, just get through a game, complete his tackles, his kick chase. I'm not really expecting much from him. He's already had 2 to 3 injuries this year. Just want to let him find his feet. So just that's really for me. That's really what it is for him. I
Yeah.
think under that proviso, they should go all right.
Yep.
He's got, having Kate Well out there. I'm not sure if we have Laban, but just having a bit more of a steady team with Kate Well involved and everyone, I think, are being more locked in. We know they
Agreed.
came in flat. I think everything should stabilize itself. So I'm just expecting Rocco just to do his job, and just hoping he stays healthy. But we do need him. I mean, we said to put him back in cup. How quickly things can change when you have a few injuries, and it's like, no, man, we need you to. We do need you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not quite. Yeah, just
Oh,
that's
bro,
my
I'm right
sentiment
there
on
with
it.
you. That's the biggest thing on it is like that's probably the most frustrating part is people always complain about defensively on that edge as well, and it doesn't help when you have a center that's not there week in week out consistently as well. And not just putting that on Rocco. I think we just had unfortunately we've been tested on our depth within our centers and our wings in our position. So shout out to Rocco. I'm very excited to have him back. As it pointed out, I'm pretty sure Tan's pointed out because Tan's absolutely loves Rocco as well. Our kick chase is going to be on this weekend, especially having Capewell, Rocco. These sort of boys out there, they do a great job in that area.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Let's get to I see in the chat everyone's mentioning it. Luke kind of had a bit of an injury. We
Yep.
Understand that. There is a sentiment to maybe give Tannah Boyd a shot this week. If that was the case, is this a good spot to put him in right now, Tannah Boyd? And would he do a good job? What's your sentiment on the Tannah Boyd chat? In the chat, everyone's saying, even if Metcalfe's a little bit nicked up, let's preserve him and give Tannah a shot just to see what we've got, type thing.
Yeah, there's definitely food to that thought. I always sway towards. I think the coaching staff and the health staff will. They would know probably best overall. If there's any risk on a guy like Luke Metcalfe, who we got a lot of future in, I don't think they would risk it if there is like something that could go wrong there. I'm probably looking more at a sentiment. I do think it's probably a cork if he's going to get named. He's going to be continue to be played through. There's not been any news out there about it, so I'm still going to run with that sentiment that it is a cork, and that's why I'm okay with him playing. Like he can free up from that cork over the weekend. get through his training reps and he'll be okay. So I'm happy with that in general. If he was carrying any little niggling injury, yeah, 100%. We could look at putting Tannah in there and he'll do a great job for us. But I think if he's just got a cork and he's ready to go, keep Luke in there because he'll keep doing the job. And he's still hunting for a Dally M at the end of the year too. But nah, bro, I believe in the coaching staff. They'll know the best course of action. I think it would be so stupid and silly, and I don't think that too many NRL clubs would do it on the knowledge that he is carrying an injury for him to put out there. Luke Metcalfe in general, who has dealt with this.
Yeah. Look, it's up there. I mean, Tannah is in that mix, guys. So we never know with the 24-hour cutoff. They do some fitness testing. Things can change, but until that point, I back Webby and the medical staff that they'll make the right call. Let's move now into Kate Wild's come in. They've kept Laban there actually, and Lecker's gone to the bench. Is that a diminishing element of Lecker, or is it saying, look, they've dropped them out at times to the bench periodically when they can? What does that moving him to the bench signify to you, and why actually keep Laban starting there? What's the whole view of that change Webby's made, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think it's just predicates on their game and how they play their football, right? Like when I look at a Catewell or a Laban, they're more of their longer minutes. They'll punch out, decent defensively. That they're always, they're holding into the contest for a longer period of time. When you look at someone like a Leka Lasima, very explosive, right? You want him to come off the bench, especially with tied forwards, and just break open the game. I think a lot of Warriors fans, when they sit early part of the season, people obviously waxing lyrical about, Leka Lasima's impact from the bench, and they kind of did miss that for the period where he was playing 80 minutes, even though he was playing a different sort of game with the 80-minute games, and I still thought that was a very strong game for an edge back row that what he was playing. I think he can do them both, but it kind of swings towards more so that Leck is going to be able to use his explosiveness in short minute stints there, coming off the bench, breaking open the game. Someone like a Jacob Laban, as I kind of just touched on, he's just a guy that usually takes it to contest for a long period of time. He's not as explosive as a Lek Alasima, still an explosive back rower, but he's more of a longer minute type of edge back rower, get through his defensive work and, we're trying just aiming for getting the right time, put Lecker out there, and he's going to explode in the game. That's probably the best way to think about this. So I agree with it. I think it's a really good move. We know both these guys can take it to a contest for a long period of time, and we know what Lecker can bring from the bench. He's done it multiple times this season. Yep.
I can't wait. I enjoy Lecker. Again, I was a big advocate for just balancing his minutes out. And fair call to Webby that he said to them, boys, Catewell's out. Daddy's not going to give you a soft run here. You're going to have to play 80, and they have.
Yep.
And done well. You can argue that Lecker's made the same errors as a Jackson Ford, but when Jackson played 80, he'd always have one error in him. I think of late, Lecker's probably had one error in him. Yep. So he on balance, he's actually playing very well for his position comparison to some of his peers. Yep. I think it's great idea just to pull him back a little bit. Say, mate, we're going to get the best 40 minutes out of you. We need your impact, especially for this game against the Broncos with a very good dynamic type of attack. Forward pack that can move around. So, it's one of those ones, I think, personally.
It makes our bench look really, really strong. A lot of impact comparatively to the Broncos bench. Like, they've definitely got some impact there with Xavier Bullison and that. But, they're running Brendan Piacotta and Jordan Ricky early on in this game. Brendan Piacotta can play that 80 minutes. He can be a longer minute back rower as well, but he's also a guy that's known for his punch and that. So those are the guys that we can kind of, if we can take it out of them in the game, their rotational pieces won't have as much impact as what maybe we can chuck on a Lecker with, and he can break open a game, go running through either one of those boys. So I think that Lecker is going to be that real key piece that I think we'll probably be aiming at a Jordan Ricky area this year, especially. I think Ricky hasn't been up to his standard, in my opinion, especially defensively. I think we can catch him out, or we can get him one-on-one with that Ezra Mam if we want to go that way. Bring off Jacob Laban, who I think will be on that edge, and put on Lecker and get him running at Ezra Mam. I think that opens up a lot of options for us as well.
Yeah, man. No, absolutely. Tannah Smith, just he's going to be playing in that tweener role, just in between, bouncing in and out, I suppose. I had no real issue or gripes with his game on Saturday.
No.
Yeah, but this team looks a little bit more deadly, packing a bit more punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, guys. I think there's not much to do. I'm not going to do the whole Tamaide. We've hashed that out. We keep selecting guys. We're not the ones making the decisions, but that's that catch-22 with that kind of spot, and I think there's no more need to really flesh that one out too much. But you're pretty much happy with that, Ash? That squad?
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. I think it's
Best we
one
can
of our
do.
strongest squads.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially comparatively off last week, right? I think that, coming to this one, Capewell's a massive in for us. Rocco coming back into the centres is an upgrade there, in my opinion, especially defensively. So I think that, bringing Lecker off the bench is going to be a real key piece, especially with Dimitri. If we get all that right, I think it's a very, very strong squad to take it to the Broncos, who have found some sort of form at the